Now what we want to do is use a power transformation to copy and rotate a series of these shapes to form a fan of objects which we can then start to play around with. So with your selection tool, make sure you click and drag across all of the shapes to highlight them, and then come over to your rotate tool and double click to bring up the dialog box. Now we're going to rotate here by 45 degrees, and don't forget we're coming from the center because we did double click the tool. But we do importantly want to click copy, which will leave our original where it is. Now, as you know, a power transformation is Command D or Control D, so let's go ahead and use that keyboard shortcut twice to duplicate that rotation into two more locations. So we've now essentially got a nice fan array of objects. Let's go back to the main selection tool and just deselect. What we want to do is select all of the white elements. So remember our same fill color command that we used a little while ago. Select your white object, come up here to the control panel and simply click our icon to now highlight all of the white elements. Now before we do any combining here with the Pathfinder function, I want to give you some examples of how it actually works. So what I'm going to do is scroll the page over to the side here and then just option drag a copy of all of those white shapes over here onto the right hand side. Now, as you can see from the arrangement of these and these overlaps in the center, they are very much separate objects. And of course, you could deselect, grab one of them and move it. You can see they are simply separate rectangles, okay? Well, what Pathfinder does is it allows us to join them all together into one shape. But you can do that in two ways, live or non-destructively and permanently, okay? So the Pathfinder panel, we've had it stored up here since the very beginning. It was part of our workspace. So we're going to open that up and you can see the basic shape modes that appear here at the top. All right, so we have a unite function which will allow us to join all of the shapes together. We have minus front, which will take the topmost object and punch it through all of the other shapes, and you can even do an intersect so it leaves just where the shapes overlap. So various things that you can do here, but this standard mode of using this panel is what we call destructive. Okay, it's a permanent application. So if we go ahead and click on unite, which is ideally what we're going to use in the end, you can see that the shape has been combined. There's no more overlap in here. This is very much a permanent change. All right, let's go back one step, undo that, and instead hold down your option key, again the all-powerful option key, and go over and click exactly the same icon. All right, two things will happen. Visually, you'll notice that nothing has changed in here. This is now a Pathfinder shape, but it's been applied non-destructively. Secondly, you can see there is an expand button here. So basically, we're in a live mode where we can continue to adjust the shape and size and rotation of these objects before we then maybe decide, okay, I'm happy with that. I want one standard shape, a final application, if you like, of Pathfinder. Then you could go ahead and click expand. Okay. Now, just to show you that these items are being treated separately, if we get our direct selection tool, so the A key, click on one of these objects and move it around, you can see it's not affecting anything else. However, we can tell it's being treated as one shape because if we went into our color panel and chose a different color for it, you'll see that all of them change at the same time because essentially they're one object. So this is like the best of both worlds. It's very, very cool. Now, like I said, again, when you get to the end, if you're happy with what you've got, we can expand this into a finished shape. So I'm just going to go back to the main selection tool, re-highlight that whole group now, and click expand. And there you can see the finished result, okay? All the overlaps have been cut out. This is now one combined shape. So I just wanted to show you the live versus permanent versions there of Pathfinder, because you can do them in any way that you need to in the future. Now I'm going to delete that set of shapes. Let's come back over to our original object here. Let's go ahead and once again select the whites, come over here and say select same fill color, and then we can simply apply our shape mode to combine all of those together. Likewise, let's do the same with the black. Select one black object, select same fill color, and apply Pathfinder Unite to join all of those together. Now, if we quickly look at outline mode, you can see through here it's looking a lot less cluttered in there. If you can imagine how many shapes were overlapping a second ago, we've now created new shapes that are a lot simpler and a little bit easier to work with.